Hello, it's Saturday, February 11th, 2012 at 4:25 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the other day I made a video on during the Super Bowl with concern about the New Madrid area. And last night I made several videos on weather patterns and things I was seeing, also expressing concern on the New Madrid area. And there's some things happening today that I think validate that concern. One of them we're looking at right here. This is Eglin Air Force Base in Florida. And notice this whole green area around the Doppler radar. And what we're looking at is basically minus 12 to minus 16 dBz's. And notice how it just kind of fades away. We're going to look at a couple more here. Right here also in Jackson, Mississippi. Brandon, Jackson, Mississippi. See, we're getting the same thing. And then also there's, on the last one too, there's all this clutter around it, way out into the outer edges. Usually there's clutter, but it's just in the center of the center circle here. And it appears to even be rotating in a counterclockwise, and that could just be how it appears, but let's go back and look at the last one too. I think it was also going in the same direction. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, this is also appears to be going counterclockwise. It's going to be a few minutes before I tie everything together, and I'm not sure I'm going to get everything tied together, but I just wanted to show you some things I've observed today. And this is Mobile, Alabama. There I go again. And see, we're getting that same green, and we're getting that counterclockwise rotation. We're also getting a couple of snake clouds down here. Let's slow it down a little bit so we can see. I don't think they're coming from this green area. They seem to be coming right here. And we still have some barges out in the Gulf, as far as I know, that have the ability to make these. All right, going back and looking at College of DuPage, their 2KM product radar. I'm just going to go ahead and start this. And you can see that these are kind of a purple color. Can you see that? I'm going to zoom in here. Whereas like down here in Lake Charles, they don't have that purple color around them. So it's the green that's making this brown purple color. Here you can see those snake clouds again being formed. And then going into the national level, we can see them down in here. There's 3 of them that are lit up, these 3 right here. And what's interesting is they're in line with that system I talked about last night that's been here for a couple days, for several days actually. And it appears that they're pulling or drawing this system down, because it was basically from here to here, not going down into here. So I'm thinking that the that frequency, or the dBz that we're seeing, it dictates what happens when different frequencies are coming around these Dopplers. So that's what I'm going to be watching, and would hope that some of you would do the same. Additionally, we've got these flashes going on in Kansas, up here in Goodland, Kansas, Wichita, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I'll give you a closer view here in a second. And then also I wanted to point out that we've got this line. There's a line of Dopplers that are set in the same mode here. See, we're ending in this one. So maybe from here to here. So going to, let's see, this is the closer up view. And after these flashes, it seems like this dissipates. Well, no, it's starting to dissipate before they even flash. The biggest flash is happening up here in Goodland, Kansas. I'm going to stop it a minute. And the other day I did a video on a flash that happened in Nebraska and an earthquake in Oklahoma that happened simultaneously, right at the same time. I think it was Hastings right here, and the deepest part of it was pointed towards Oklahoma City, and that's where that earthquake occurred right at the same time. And now right here we're getting well, we got one coming out of Hastings now, a little one. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here too. And then right here at 17:45 we're getting a pretty good one coming out of Goodland, Kansas up here. These four seem to be centered on this Doppler down here in New Mexico. And I'm not sure where this one's centered. And this one is centered on the New Madrid area. Right here is New Madrid. So I'm going to put my paper up here and show you exactly where it's landing. Actually, it's right up in here more. Between the tip of Illinois and New Madrid is where it's directed. And it's crossing over the one coming out of Wichita here too. And then going forward a frame, it stays for a little while and it disappears. Last frame it's shown on is 1753. So now we've got a couple beams coming up here also out of, let's see, where am I? Wichita, Kansas. This is, yeah, I called this Wichita a minute ago, and that's Hastings. I did really bad in geography in school. It's amazing that I'm even doing this. And this is Tulsa, so we got one coming down here and coming up here, a pretty hot one here too, and I'm not sure where this one's going either. But I'm starting to pay attention now, especially when they get way up in the green zone as to where they're pointed. So then going on to look at a visible. I've got it blocked out on the bottom down here because it's nighttime and those frames are dark. New Madrid's right here. And just like right before the Super Bowl, we're getting a wave that's kind of moving up. See it right here? And then it disappears. But that's the same thing that was going on the other day. I made a real short video, and I'll put a link to that video as well as the other ones I talk about here underneath. So here in Oklahoma, you can see that this just kind of starts dying away at some point. And this is all clear down in here. Not right away, but right here it clears out. See that? Where the here's Mobile, Eglin, and the one in Mississippi. I forgot which one it was, but anyway, that whole area clears. And also I want to point out that right up here in Illinois we've got a snow streak that basically is pointing right, well, past the New Madrid area, but right in that same general vicinity right here. I found that interesting. So that's a cold precipitation area from the previous night, I assume. Someone left a comment on my video, one of my videos last night, and they said they had extreme wind in central Illinois yesterday and last night, and someone else said there was snow up here in Wisconsin. So that must be what we're seeing here. Yeah, you can see the snow up in here. And then looking in the radar of the same, I'm not really seeing anything different, but I just wanted to let this play through a couple times just for the record. The original loops I showed you went from 1610 to 1855 UTC. And the next rads are a little later than that because I just did those now. And then the one in the close-up of Kansas was the same, 1617 to 1902. And then this one's a little later. We're going into 2047, starting at 18 something, because we're only getting the tail end of the beams here. And then I wanted to show you, let's see, yeah, that's just more of the same, a little closer up view of the same thing. Again, the radar, a little closer view, a little later in the game. game. It's not a game. And here's a close-up of that snow area near New Madrid. New Madrid's right here. And the New Madrid seismic zone's all down in here. It's all in this area right here. And you can see that we've got scalar type waves showing up here, here, going this direction, here, going this direction. So the area is charged. And then going and looking at the University of Utah troposphere report, this is right at the time, like, yeah, it's exactly at the time, or a few minutes after the flash in Goodland, Kansas. And you can see that this heavy area is right over New Madrid. New Madrid's right here. And you can see the wind is coming down this way in a straight line, and it's coming down this way, you know, directly at it, and then kind of curves around a little bit. The heaviest portion being here. And then over here, this is interesting because these orange areas here are basically in line with some earthquakes that happened the other day, one in Canada, one in Wyoming, and then those following, one in Oklahoma, all in a line. And this is following that same pattern. And then also, like at the Super Bowl, this is all stretched out in a thin line. Now the Super Bowl was going, you know, directly horizontally, and this is diagonally. But again, it's a thin line, and it's going over the New Madrid area. So going and looking at the jet stream, this is past. This is like 4 hours past what we've been looking at. And you can see that the jet stream just drops way down in here, and we're getting high winds along this area. And then going back one, let's see if I get the right one. Oh, that one's this one, right here. So basically that flash happened between this one and this one. So you're going from this to this. This is at 12 hours later. So this is February 11th at 12 GMT, and this is at February 12th at 00 GMT. But I found it interesting that we've got this high pressure area right here in Canada, kind of where this dog leg is in the, I guess they're provinces. And then we've got this windy area up over the HAARP site up here in Alaska. And always when we get these highs, we get a wind area on either side. I mean, not always, but almost always. Up here, you're getting another one. We got a high up here, and you got a windy area here, and a windy area here. And then again, that jet stream's falling right over New Madrid. And then notice that the high wind area down here in the purples, let's see, that's like 135 knots. That's right over those areas that had the green charges to them, Eglin Air Force Base, Mobile, Alabama. And it's interesting that these seem to be in line. This HAARP thing, this high pressure thing, coming down the jet stream and ending right here. Someone said that frequency either is absorbed or bounced depending on what the frequency is. So, and I don't know if that's true, but it sounds logical. But if that's true, I'm wondering if some of it's going up and is set that to do that, while other is going down and exciting down here, which is drawing. And that's what it looked like to me. It was what it was doing, was drawing the storm. Going back over here, I wanted to show you that the HAARP induction magnetometer is strangely silent during that time. I mean, there's nothing going on. It's basically right in here at 17, 18. See, there's nothing. There's just a little bit going on down in here. I guess that's nothing. That's just a different that's not nothing. It's another frequency. But when I switched over to the spectrum monitor, and again, I don't understand this totally, but it's the spectrum monitor waterfall chart. And I'll give you links to all these things. But last night, it switched over, and I don't understand exactly how this works, but this was an extreme switch. It went over into this mode. It went from this, which I've been seeing for several days, and went into oranges and greens, and then that, you can see that's tapering off. And up here's a scale, oranges and greens is minus 77 decibels. And then over here is the frequency in megahertz. And so that's all in a straight line. And 16, 17, 18, right at 18, right before 18 is when that flash occurred. You can see that all this up here actually starts getting active right at that time. In fact, this one starts right there, and that's at like 21 megahertz. So I don't know if these are bringing about the flashes or can carry them. And then I also want to show you on Google Earth that if I take from like Mobile and go connect up to the HAARP facility up here in Alaska, that is near where that high pressure area was, right in here. And it's a little ways away from where this other activity was going, but it's in the same direction. I mean, it's the same, it's angled. So anyway, I gotta go. There you go. God bless you. Have a good rest of the day.